points here, then we will catch her up. All right, call to order at 6:02. Attendance. Dwight's not here. He said he wouldn't let me. He let me know that he would be here. I haven't heard from Cheryl. Approval of the agenda. So we have a motion. I'm trying to think if there's anything that needs to be added. Does anyone have anything to add to the agenda?
No.
I feel like any of the things we just talked about are like under discussion. They can come up there. So, all right. So I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted. Can you get a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. All right. Approval of the minutes. So Dwight still has not sent the January ones, so we will push those to July. Mark submitted the May ones, and they are also here as well. Thank you for including Stevie on both of the public comments and what she shared. So,
but I don't know much of a rule. It was public comments.
Right, it was good. It gave me a good laugh this afternoon. So make a motion to approve the May minutes as submitted.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Any disclosure of conflicts of interest? No, we do not have a public tonight, so no public comment. Sandra, you have to share what's going on your end with your spot in the committee here?
Yes. So I unfortunately will be having to step down from the board due to accepting a position at the Bath Police Department. So tonight will be my last meeting as a board member. I still plan to attend all the meetings to continue helping with Bath Fest, but it will be not as a board member.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Sorry to see you go.
Yeah, I am. I'm really sad, but I'm not going anywhere. Just won't be here.
Yeah.
They threw the wall.
Yeah.
So yeah, congratulations. It's super exciting. And just like the other member said, I'm sad to see you go, but also know that you're obviously still staying involved. All right, so old business. So good news is, if you haven't heard, the Board of Trustees allocated $10,000 from the general fund to the Bath Fest fund, or Bath Fest account, for some seed money for this year to get us going, which is really nice because our budget is basically a revenue neutral budget. But since we haven't had a year yet of revenue, it's really nice that they went ahead and did that. So in future years we will generate the revenue, but that's some seed money to get us going here to start reserving and paying for some things that we need to start reserving and paying for. So Sandra and I just met for an hour kind of working through things. I think we were sort of at a point of like, we knew what we had scheduled and structured and had the ideas, but we're sort of waiting to see what happened with the board to be able to like, all right, like, now we've got to go. So we got things straightened out on our end. Where we're heading is, now that we know this is for sure, I'm going to work on it tomorrow. It's going to be just like a master or a spreadsheet. I think in the future we may use some, because it's small and intentionally small, I think we may end up using like, whether it's like Monday.com or Basecamp or the million other different project management software out there, maybe in the future. Right now we're thinking that we'll have just an Excel spreadsheet that we'll have everyone have access to, that there'll be like the main one will just be the like main activities. It'll be like a clean sheet of main activities, time frame, location, contact person who's in charge of that, and contact number/email. And then each of the kind of events, or each of the activities or events will have their own tabs where there'll be more in depth, more information about them. And then also we're going to put a to-do list, or to-do lists with specific assigned date, just like they would be in a project management software or app where there'll be a person assigned to it and an assigned date to complete that. So I think rather than asking you all tonight to sign up for things, I think I'd like to build that in the next day or two and then share it out and ask you all like what your interest and or availability is in any of those items. Does that seem like a reasonable approach?
Yes.
It does.
So,
The one question, did you say?
oh no, go ahead.
I have a couple questions. I guess my first question is whether or not we could reach out to some of the other committees, maybe the senior center even, not just the committee, but the senior center as a whole, to see whether or not there are some seniors that maybe want to volunteer and maybe help the process either now or later at some point. I also was wondering if like there are high school volunteers that are available during the summer that we can start recruiting now. Because, I mean, obviously early on, we might not have that much work to do, but I know that as the festival gets closer, there's going to be a ton of work.
Yeah.
And you and I obviously have the experience with the farmers market where closer to the event, more and more work, and that falls, like, just adding more and more stuff to our plate.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be realistic about what my own availability is going to be.
Yeah.
But also, too, we can't just sort of share that load and start having those conversations now rather than later. So I don't know, like I said, senior center and or, high school volunteers, we can reach out to the honor society, whoever it is.
Yeah.
And any other group or committee that you can think of, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely, I can start including in my Friday report, like a request for volunteers. That goes out to all of the committee members and then any resident that has signed up to receive that from me. So I can start including that, get it on the website, obviously. James obviously does the programming for the senior center, so he can kind of start reaching out to some of our patrons to see if they'd be interested in that. And then, I don't know who exactly to reach out at the school, so I'm sure you guys probably know better who to reach out for that.
Mrs. Cook is there for the rest of this week, and so she'd probably be the best part. She's in the school office, and just letting her know that she would send an email before she leaves, just asking seniors to reach out to, like, so-and-so, if they're interested in helping that weekend or available, so they can mark it on their calendar.
Okay. Good. And one of the things that we had just talked about is, so the other thing besides the spreadsheet for me to do either tomorrow or Wednesday is to figure out all of the volunteer opportunities and get them organized, and then whether we use a Sign Up Genius or some type of thing, like what we were just talking about is us not being the bottleneck, so that someone doesn't have to send like two things. One, we don't have to like tell them about the volunteer opportunity and then get them to come back a second time to that volunteer opportunity to fill it out, and have a way where they don't have to like send Sandra or whoever is organizing it a like text or email or phone call, and then we have to take that information and then put it into there. So it's like
I
just
can
self-populate.
I can make a Google form that then populates into a spreadsheet that then can be shared with them.
Okay, cool. So I will work on, I will make a list of the volunteer opportunities, and then run it by and make sure that things are included there.
Do we still have like an arts council?
So, we do, but we don't have any members. I believe I and the chair are the only members. Nobody has applied in the last 3 years. So.
Do you have any idea of how many vacancies across the various?
It's in the Friday report if you would read it.
It is.
Else you can
Off
read
the top of my head, I believe we have approximately 15.
Wow, okay.
7 or 6 of which are
Yes.
our committee.
So half of them are our committee, and then I believe there's 2 on zoning board of appeals, there's 2 on senior center, there's
2 here. Yeah.
One
Most of them are 1 or 2.
on Park Lake.
Yeah.
Isn't there anything like in the bylaws or anything that says that those have to be?
So because they're advisory committee,
bylaws, statutory, yes, they have bylaws and state law that require them to have a certain amount of people. The board, as an aside, is currently working on reviewing advisory committees as part of their strategic planning. So there may be some opportunity where some committees are possibly joined together to create a new committee. Like this, for instance, I'm not saying this is happening. For instance, this group could possibly absorb public art, something like that. So.
We've never had a conversation about that, but that is something that I think about every week when I see that. It's
I have mentioned it a couple times on my own.
Yeah, and then there's like when Ben was talking about like the art going down at the boat launch, it's like it fits in.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I think I have some work to do on my end today or tomorrow and Wednesday to be able to get those kind of structure in place that's usable, and then so that you can all see sort of what's happening, when and where, and then the volunteer opportunities too. And then I feel like we'll be in a better place of it getting out of all in my head. Sponsorship wise, so we can start doing some sponsorship stuff. Do you have?
Yep, I have 13 copies.
So we have these copies printed. We have that list. If you all don't have it, I have it written down.
I was really super excited.
Okay, awesome.
I did all my people. I waited today.
Awesome.
Sponsorships, yes. I went and talked to everybody on my list and emailed them and talked to them who I could face to face, and I did a couple extra as well. So.
Cool.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm excited because that's through my mind forever. I hate when things are on my list, and then I was like, should I do it? I need to decide. Keiko tell me to do it again.
So did you send them the link to the?
Yes, I sent out like an
one?
email,
Okay.
and so I went to all the places I said, if I can have your email address, I can send you, and it was just basically like all I copy and pasted, besides like a little splurge on the front, top part, so if they have any questions, I could answer them, and then I send it all to them, it has a link in it and things like that, and so.
Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So others, there's printed copies here if you want to take printed copies. I'll take a handful of them too, and then we can start going and either emailing and or dropping those off to the places.
I was just going to let you guys know that I did a couple extra, and so just so you don't have to alter them, you know?
Yes.
So I did A&D, auto repair,
Okay, perfect.
and then I did Pleasant Trees.
Okay.
That wasn't on our list, but they were right there.
Yeah.
I did Faro Gas.
Oh, nice.
Are they open?
They are, and they were the nicest people. They were so excited. Yes.
And they're now filling. I just saw they're filling. That's the one right on Old 27, right?
Yeah.
They're filling.
Oh wait.
Or I'm sorry. I was over on Old 27. On Old 78, not 78.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're filling like homeowner tanks now, which is not something they've done in the past. Like you can just take your tank, your propane tank in there, and they'll fill them.
So they used to do that.
When it was the other place.
It was Farrell, and they closed. COVID. Yeah.
We used to get them at the RV place. I didn't know they were doing it.
Yeah.
The homeowner was there. But I saw on their sign today or yesterday that they were doing that again now.
I wasn't quite sure if I was supposed to do Pits and Pints, but it was right there, so I went ahead and did it. It was already on the list.
Okay.
So I did Pits and Pints as well. And then, I did Dirksen Dentistry. I did Emily Dirksen Photography. And I think that's all the other ones I did that were not on my list.
Okay.
Oh, and I did Midwest Power Equipment, Ace Hardware as well, because it was right there. So
Yeah.
I did a bunch of others, but those are just the only ones I only had like a slash next to it. I was putting like C's next to the ones I was doing. And so those weren't a C, just had a slash. And I was like, well, I'll just do it.
Great. Well, thank you for doing those. Did everyone get those written down so that we don't
Yes.
go again and go to those? Okay. Perfect. So when we don't have a system in place right now, when sponsorships come in for us to be able to know who submitted a sponsorship, do you have suggestions or best way for us to, like, should we check in once a week? Should we, like...
So I could create a another spreadsheet that would be shared, that as we get them, I can update it with the information,
Yeah, that would be great.
what, of who the person or company is obviously, and then what the sponsorship is that they selected.
Okay, yeah, that would be great if you could do that.
Would you guys like me to send you an email with all the people I did and all their email addresses, so that way next year, if you were just gonna send out like an email, like, it'd be easier for them to go through and ask, maybe, or?
Yeah, that would be helpful if you
Yeah.
had that information. Yeah.
Because it wasn't listed on any other websites, and so I
Yeah.
haven't talked to them.
Right. So, thank you for creating that. One, thank you for doing that. Two, thank you for creating that spreadsheet.
He was also on my list to talk to American Legion, and I talked to them, and I think the commander's name is Leo, and he said that they were actually having a meeting tonight, and that they have like, I think it was like 10 or 12 things they can turn in to be able to do like public events, and he said he still had a couple left over, and so he would present it tonight to use them for the Bath Fest. He thought it'd be a good opportunity for them and for helping the community. And so he said after the meeting he'll give me a phone call and let me know for sure. But it sounded like he was very interested. So
Awesome. We just had that conversation where we were like, Carolyn was going to talk to him. We should check in with her and see if she did. So, great. Cool. All right. So I think we got sponsorships, talked about volunteers, the activities. We'll do a spreadsheet. And then, James, you don't have to answer this now, but let's talk either now if you want to or soon about the 5K and sort of where that's at, what you need from us, what we can do, and like what expectations are. Like when we started talking about this with the board, we said we would be very thoughtful of employee time and commitments. And so just to get an idea of like where that's at and what you need from us.
Well, we have the course, we're scheduled to, we got approved for that, so we're all set there. We have registration taking place now. So far, we have 6 registered.
Okay.
But we're still early, so.
Yeah.
In order to be guaranteed a cert, then until July 20th.
Yeah.
So I think once we get closer to that July 20th, I'll be ordering shirts and putting better packets. And I think where we'll need support is, as far as the registration day of. And that if we do that, that Friday before, we have registration that night.
Yeah.
And then the day of the event. And possibly, I talked about possibly lining the field at the school and do that for us. And, maybe, I'll let talk to you guys more about it. Maybe DPW could be involved within that as well.
Possibly we'll have to talk to them about that.
Yeah, and I think we'll also have to just make sure, well, they can do it because grounds at the schools is union. We'll just have to make sure that.
Yeah, there's certain things that they do allow us to do.
Okay.
Like right now, we are raking and lining the baseball field that we use for Little Suggers.
Okay.
And that's mostly because we're using it.
Yeah.
So then they just kind of have us manage it.
Yeah. Okay.
I just have a walk through the course, prior to, sometime next month or so to get kind of a feel for what all that's going to take, so.
Yeah. And if when you schedule that, will you just let me know because neither of our kids did cross country, so I don't know the course either.
Okay.
So I would just like to know it in general as well.
Okay.
But so you are good to do the shirts and to put together the race packets?
Yes, that should be fine.
Okay. And then we talked about, that Friday before when we do the tub check-in, kind of the trial run, that we can do the handout bibs and packets there, and then morning of as well, handing out bibs and packets.
Yeah, I think the same crew that does the group of volunteers that does the check-in, they also could do the awards and as competitors finish.
Okay.
They can pass out awards as well.
Okay. And bananas and that. We
Have waters.
Yeah.
Yes, I can purchase that, just maybe help, pass those out as well.
Okay. Cool. So one of the things that we were just talking about a little bit, so we were kind of all having in our brain, is it seems like I want to think about, I feel like I'm forgetting something, but maybe I'm not. Like, there's sort of that Saturday morning, there's like 3 main locations. There's like the parade setup, that Sandra's gonna kind of wrangle there in the parking lot of the Four Corners. And then there's the 5K, which will be at the high school parking lot, but I do know they start from the middle school, but there's a little walkway back through. And then, Cousins Park will be like the bounce house setup and vendor setup. So those seem like those are like, oh, and I guess there'll be that's the other one I was forgetting. There'll be, like food truck, cornhole, car show.
I don't interrupt your thought, you're so fun.
No, that's good. I just wanted to write that down while I remember the one that I felt like I forgot.
So, maybe I just didn't see it, but did you say that registration's already open for the 5K, James? Did it get emailed out or posted on social media?
It's posted on the Bath Fest Facebook page, it's been posted a couple times, and then also on the website. I don't know if I updated it in the Friday report, if I didn't, then I'm gonna make sure
I
I
just hadn't seen it, and so I keep missing all these posts, so I'll go back and look. So I want to be sure to try to share and like and.
It is also on, I was on Playmakers today just looking at other races, and it is listed. They just have a Lansing area, and it's a pretty generous definition of Lansing area, and I think there was some in Flint even on there, Flushing, and but it is all by date. And I saw that it was on there, and the link works. It clicks you over to the registration site, and you can click on the registration, and it takes you to the fillable form and payment form. So it is live on the Playmakers one too.
Yeah, good to hear.
All right. Anything else? It's just going to get like Fast and Furious now, which is good.
You guys are doing a great job.
And one of the things, Sandra, when we were talking to you, is I think in future years, one, having the emails is going to be so much easier, and having the forms approved and that. And the other piece is that we were just talking about is knowing who to contact at what place. All right, we're going to talk to the wildlife hub about doing a cornhole. And then it's all right, I'm going to try. Sandra's I'll try this person, and then it's I'm I'll try this person. So knowing who that's just taking time, I think, in year one, which is not unexpected. All right. Any other Math Fest questions?
Did you find someone who on cornhole?
Not yet, but I was talking to, Sandra was talking to Wildlife Pub, and then I was talking to Coach Wilson, Josh Wilson, this week at the Mega Stars track meet. And he does a bunch of stuff there, and he told me, is it John Rock?
Yeah.
Rock. So he was you should, I'm going to text Josh tomorrow morning and just be hey, just following up, do you have that, and contact them.
I was going to say, because if any of those fall through, just keep in mind that American Legion, I don't know who they use, but they have cornhole tournaments that they have there. And so maybe they have the equipment at hand, maybe it's a member or somebody that would be willing to do it. So just
okay, yeah, so let's talk to Wildlife Pub, and then if that doesn't work, same thing, they've got the leagues, and so we thought the same thing, they've got the equipment, and since it's a money prize, we thought at one point we talked about I've got a set of boards, and this person's got a set of boards, but I think if there's money prize, they should all be same boards and run by someone.
Where are you guys running the cornhole tournament?
On the
It'll be in that empty field in front of the middle school, next to
Okay.
the softball field.
Nice.
which we thought there's food trucks, the food will be there, that'll be there, car show will be there, it's sort of people are able to bounce around.
Yep.
All right, moving on, vacancies, we've got 2 now, so if you come across anyone, or you think anyone would be good, just obviously let them know, you can connect them with me, and talk about what it involves in that, so, nothing big there, but just now we have 2, and it would be good to get them filled if possible, so we don't show up on those Friday reports as vacancies. Well, if we joined with the art committee, we would have one person at least, right? Who chairs that?
Michael Mumon.
So, all right. All right. We don't have any new business. So staff reports. James.
Oh, we had Cooks in the Field on Friday. It was
Awesome.
Yeah, that was great. It was a great team. Yeah, looking forward to do that again.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday, the library had their summer kickoff, so I had a booth there promoting rec programs, which that was a great turnout as well. So.
Cool.
My kids at that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so two great community events back to back. And T-ball and Little Sluggers, they start their game this week. They had practice 2 weeks prior to this game week starting. The farmers market, we've had 2 so far. The first market we had 5 vendors. The second market we had 6 vendors. So we're looking to build upon that throughout the season. U6, U8 soccer registrations open until August 1st. Right now we're working on figuring out the details of the film program, but I can share the next meeting. But thank you to the soccer club and the library for the Cooks in the Field. That was great.
It was really cool. Like, that was a really awesome event.
Yeah, it was fun.
I do want to add, as a resident, my husband didn't attend, but my 2 daughters and I did. And as a resident that was close to the soccer field, there was no noise at our house. Like, I don't think it bothered any neighbors or anything, because I do live right on Deary Lane. But he said he couldn't hear the movie or anything from the house, so I don't think anybody else had any issues with the noise or anything.
Okay, I didn't say too bad.
Quick question for you. We were just talking about maybe the Bath Fest having a booth at the farmers market. To hand, I have like sponsorship packets, vendor packet for, which I'm going to get to you tomorrow. We just finalized the last few things to do it.
Questions.
Yeah, we do too. So, and having just like materials, be able to talk about the tub race and that. So, would we be able to do one this week? Or would it be possible?
Yes, this week will work.
All right. And is it possible to set up the double tent since it's part of, maybe that's a question, since it's part of the township, can you set up the double tent and have James in one and then us in the other side of it? Okay, cool. All right, I will get you vendor packet and cornhole packet tomorrow morning.
If you don't have it by like noon, let me know and I'll make sure I send it.
Okay.
I
I'll also try to remember it because I do have some stuff in the morning. But.
Yeah, I have a 10 or 10:30, and I have a bunch of goals to get for Bath Fest before that meeting. So I think it's a 10. So there you go. Ben's not here. We have some questions for Ben or DPW in general for Bath Fest stuff.
Okay.
Are they best to just like send to you? There's like 5, 6 questions. Should we just send those to you
Yes,
tomorrow as
some of them
well?
some of them I may even be able to answer. If I don't know the answer, then I can talk to Cody and or them.
Okay. Cool. And I'll just CC you on that so that we're all in the loop there. Yeah. Cool. All right. No public comment. No BOT rep. Any member comments?
I just want to thank the Chair Contract for presenting to the Board of Trustees for the request for financial support for Bath Fest.
And Sandra as well. It was a tag team effort.
Thank you to both of you.
I think they're excited. It was unanimous. Like, it was great. Yeah, so. And I say thank you for your short yet worthwhile time on here. So I'm glad that you're not, we've had people leave that because they're moving out of the township, not just on this committee and other committees as well. And that's always a hard thing to see happen, especially when people contribute and are part of the community. So I'm glad that you are not moving out of the township.
Just moving out of the chair.
Yeah.
I crossed it off of my thing because I thought it was error. And I was going to say, oh, we need to fix our meeting agenda. And I was like, oh, I should have crossed that out, my bad.
All right. Wow, that was a much faster meeting than I thought it was going to be. Good work, team. So, all right, a motion to adjourn at 6:32. I guess I'll make a motion to adjourn. Get a second?
I'll second. I was yawning.
All in favor?
Hi.
Any opposed? All right, adjournment at 6:32.